Here is something that will blow your mind. While people in New York are paying $3,000 for a showbox apartment, and Londoners are selling their kidneys for rent, there's a place in Europe where you can live comfortably for just $600 a month. I'm talking about Greece, where ancient gods once walked among mortals, where philosophy was born, and where the concept of democracy first took root. But forget everything you think you know about this Mediterranean paradise, because what I am about to show you will make you question why you race still grinding in expensive Western cities, when you could be sipping ouzo while watching the sunset over the Aegean Sea. Greece isn't just some budget destination for backpackers eating instant noodles. This is a country where history comes alive on every street corner, where the food tastes like it was blessed by Aphrodite herself, and where the women, well, let's just say Helen of Troy, wasn't a myth. The Greeks have mastered something that the rest of the world has forgotten: how to actually live. Not just survive, not just exist, but truly live with passion, warmth, and a zest for life that's infectious. You might be thinking this sounds too good to be true. How can you possibly live in Europe for $600 a month when a single meal in Paris costs more than most Greeks spend on groceries for a week? The answer lies in understanding Greece beyond the tourist traps, beyond the Instagram-perfect photos of Santorini that cost $500 a night. The real Greece, the Greece where locals live, work, and thrive, is completely different from what travel influencers show you. This isn't about roughing it or living like a hermit. We're talking about a quality of life that includes fresh Mediterranean food, crystal clear beaches, rich cultural experiences, and social connections that put most Western societies to shame. The Greeks have figured out that happiness doesn't come from working 80-hour weeks to afford overpriced lattes. It comes from long lunches with friends, evening strolls through ancient neighborhoods, and knowing that your biggest worry tomorrow is whether to have moussaka or souvlaki for dinner. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a journey through modern Greece that will challenge everything you think you know about European living costs, Mediterranean culture, and what it really means to live well on a budget. When you look at a map of Europe, Greece sits like a jewel at the southeastern tip, stretching into the Mediterranean like fingers reaching for Africa and Asia. This isn't just geography, it's destiny. Greece has been the crossroads of civilizations for thousands of years. And that cultural mixing pot is exactly what makes it so fascinating today. The country is surrounded by some of the most beautiful waters on Earth. To the east lies the Aegean Sea, dotted with over 200 inhabited islands, each with its own personality and charm. To the west, the Ionian Sea crashes against dramatic coastlines and hidden coves that look like they were designed by the gods themselves. This isn't just pretty scenery, it's your backyard when you live here. Athens, the capital, houses about a third of Greece's 10.7 million people. It's a city where ancient ruins stand next to modern apartment buildings, where you can grab a coffee in the shadow of the Parthenon, and where the metro system doubles as an archaeological museum, because they keep finding ancient artifacts every time they try to dig a new tunnel. The city pulses with energy. Street art covers ancient walls. Rooftop bars offer views of temples that are older than Christianity, and the nightlife doesn't even start until most Americans are already asleep. Then there's Thessaloniki in the north, Greece's cultural capital, and a city that feels more Balkan than Mediterranean. It's younger, hipper, and significantly cheaper than Athens. University students from across Europe flock here, creating a vibrant atmosphere where Byzantine churches share space with trendy cafes. And the seafront promenade becomes an outdoor party every evening. But here's where Greece gets really interesting: the islands. Santorini might get all the Instagram attention with its blue-domed churches and expensive hotels. But that's just one of over 6,000 islands and islets scattered across Greek waters. Crete, the largest, is practically a country unto itself, with mountains, beaches, and Minoan palaces that predate most European civilizations. Rhodes combines medieval history with beach resort vibes. Mykonos parties harder than Ibiza, but maintains that distinctly Greek charm. The smaller islands are where the magic really happens. Places like Naxos, Paros, or Sifnos offer authentic Greek island life without the tourist markup. Here, fishing boats still bring in the daily catch, elderly men play backgammon in seaside cafes. And the pace of life moves at the speed of the Mediterranean breeze. These islands aren't just vacation destinations, they're places where you can actually live, work remotely, and experience a lifestyle that most people only dream about. The landscape changes dramatically as you move around the country. The north features mountains that rival the Alps, complete with ski resorts and hiking trails. Central Greece is home to Meteora, where monasteries perch impossibly on towering rock formations like something from a fantasy novel. The Peloponnese Peninsula in the south combines ancient ruins with some of Europe's best beaches, while the islands offer everything from volcanic landscapes to pristine white sand beaches that make the Caribbean look ordinary. What strikes most visitors immediately is how approachable everything feels. Unlike some European countries where locals seem perpetually annoyed by tourists, Greeks have elevated hospitality to an art form. This isn't fake service industry politeness, it's genuine warmth, rooted in a culture that has welcomed strangers for millennia. Greek culture runs deeper than ancient ruins and mythology, though both are impossible to escape. This is the civilization that gave the world democracy, philosophy, theater, and the Olympic Games. But modern Greek culture is far from a museum piece. It's a living, breathing continuation of traditions that have evolved over thousands of years. The concept of philoxenia, literally meaning love of strangers, isn't just a quaint tradition here. It's a way of life that governs how Greeks interact with visitors and each other. Don't be surprised if a casual conversation with a local leads to an invitation for dinner with their family, or if asking for directions results in someone personally walking you to your destination. This hospitality extends beyond tourism. It's how Greeks treat their community, their neighbors, and anyone who shows genuine interest in their culture. Daily life in Greece moves to a different rhythm than most Western countries. Mornings start leisurely with coffee, and when I say coffee, I mean serious coffee culture that puts Starbucks to shame. The traditional Greek coffee, thick and strong, is meant to be sipped slowly while catching up with friends or reading the newspaper. This isn't grab-and-go fuel for a hectic commute. It has a ritual that sets the tone for the entire day. Work schedules here might confuse Americans, used to the 9-to-5 grind. Many businesses close during the hottest part of the day for a siesta-like break, reopening in the evening when temperatures drop. This isn't laziness. It's adaptation to the Mediterranean climate that has worked for centuries. During summer months, life essentially shifts to evening hours. Restaurants don't fill up until 9 or 10 p.m. Bars hit their stride around midnight, and it is perfectly normal for families with young children to be out socializing at times. When American kids are already in bed, family remains the cornerstone of Greek society in ways that might seem foreign to individualistic Western cultures. Multiple generations often live in the same building or neighborhood. And Sunday family dinners aren't optional social events, they're sacred traditions that bind communities together. This extended family network provides a social safety net that goes far beyond government programs. It is not uncommon for unemployed young adults to live with their parents well into their 20s or 30s without stigma, and elderly family members are cared for at home rather than shuffled off to nursing facilities. The pace of life varies dramatically between urban Athens and rural villages or islands. In the capital, life moves with typical metropolitan urgency, but even there, Greeks maintain their cultural priorities. Long lunches are standard. Evening socializing is essential, and rushing through meals is considered almost rude. On the islands or in smaller towns, time seems to slow to a crawl that initially frustrates visitors, but eventually becomes addictive. Greek Orthodox Christianity plays a significant role in cultural identity. Even for many non-practicing Greeks, religious festivals mark the calendar, and even secular Greeks often participate in traditional celebrations. The church provides community structure and maintains connections to historical identity that survives centuries of foreign occupation. Education and intellectual discourse remain highly valued, reflecting the culture's philosophical heritage. Greeks love to debate politics, philosophy, and culture over coffee or drinks, and these conversations can stretch for hours. Don't mistake passion for aggression. Greeks argue loudly and enthusiastically about everything. from soccer to politics, but it's rarely personal. This intellectual engagement extends to arts and culture, with Greece producing writers, filmmakers, and artists whose work gains international recognition despite coming from a small country. The economic crisis that dominated headlines for much of the past decade has actually strengthened certain cultural values. Greeks have rediscovered traditional skills like gardening, cooking from scratch, and supporting local businesses. Urban rooftop gardens have exploded in popularity, neighborhood cooperatives have emerged, and there's renewed interest in traditional crafts and local products. Women in Greek society occupy an interesting position that balances traditional Mediterranean family values with modern European independence. Greek mothers are legendary for their protective nature and culinary skills, but young Greek women are increasingly educated, career-focused, and internationally minded. This creates a fascinating cultural dynamic where respect for tradition coexists with progressive attitudes. Now let's talk about what really matters: the food. If you think you've experienced Greek cuisine at that chain restaurant back home, you're in for a shock. Real Greek food isn't just delicious. It's a cultural institution that brings people together, celebrates local ingredients, and turns every meal into a social event. Forget everything you know about gyros from late night. Food trucks. Authentic Greek gyros use pork or chicken, not mystery meat. Grilled on vertical spits and served with hand-cut fries, fresh tomatoes, onions, and tzatziki made with thick Greek yogurt. In Athens, you can get a massive gyros that will fill you up for under €3. That's cheaper than a McDonald's meal, but infinitely more satisfying and made with actual ingredients you can pronounce. Souvlaki, those perfectly grilled meat skewers, represent the essence of Greek street food. Whether it's pork, chicken, or lamb, the meat is marinated in olive oil, lemon, and herbs, then grilled over charcoal until it develops that perfect smoky char. Served with warm pita, a squeeze of lemon, and a sprinkle of oregano. It's simplicity that achieves perfection. Street vendors throughout Greece sell souvlaki for €1 to €2 per skewer, making it possible to eat well on an incredibly tight budget. Moussaka, often called the national dish, is comfort food elevated to art. Layers of eggplant, meat sauce, and bechamel are baked until golden, creating a dish that's both familiar and exotic. Every family has their own recipe, and asking a Greek grandmother for her moussaka secrets is like asking for state security. Information, it is not happening. But Greek cuisine extends far beyond these famous dishes. The country's position between Europe, Asia, and Africa has created a fusion that most people never experience. Fresh seafood dominates coastal areas and islands where grilled octopus, fried calamari, and whole fish are daily staples rather than expensive treats. Island tavernas serve fish so fresh it was swimming that morning, grilled simply with olive oil, lemon, and herbs that let the natural flavors shine. Greek salads, called horiatiki locally, bear no resemblance to the sad lettuce-based imitations served elsewhere. Thick slices of tomatoes, chunks of cucumber, red onions, olives, and a slab of feta cheese drizzled with olive oil and vinegar. No lettuce in sight, because Greeks understand that tomatoes and cucumbers have enough flavor and nutrition without diluting them with tasteless greens. The olive oil deserves its own paragraph. Greek olive oil isn't just cooking oil. It has liquid gold pressed from trees that have been producing fruit for centuries. Extra virgin olive oil is used liberally on everything from salads to grilled fish to bread, adding richness and flavor that transforms simple ingredients into memorable meals. Many Greeks consume more olive oil in a week than most Americans eat in a month, yet they're healthier and live longer. Coffee culture in Greece is serious business that would make Italian baristas weep with envy. Traditional Greek coffee, thick and strong, is prepared in a bricky pot and served unfiltered with grounds settled at the bottom. But the real obsession is with frappe iced coffee. That was accidentally invented in Greece and has become a national addiction. Greeks can make frappe anywhere, anytime, with just instant coffee, sugar, water, and a lot of shaking. It's the perfect drink for hot summer days spent at seaside cafes. Ouzo, the anise-flavored spirit, is more than just alcohol. It's a cultural ritual. Served with small plates of meze appetizers, ouzo drinking is a social activity that can stretch for hours. The spirit turns milky white when mixed with water, and watching tourists try to drink it straight provides endless entertainment for locals. Proper ouzo consumption involves small sips alternated with bites of food, conversation with friends, and time, lots of time. Tavernas, the traditional Greek restaurants, operate on principles that would bankrupt most Western establishments. Portions are enormous, prices are low, and the atmosphere prioritizes comfort over speed. Don't expect quick service. Meals are meant to be savored, and rushing customers out for the next seating is considered rude. Many tavernas don't even have printed menus. The owner will simply tell you what's fresh that day and recommend dishes based on your preferences. The concept of meze, small plates meant for sharing, reflects Greek social culture perfectly. Instead of individual entrees, tables are covered with numerous small dishes that everyone samples. Dalmade stuffed grape leaves, spanakopita spinach pie, grilled peppers, various cheeses, cured meats, and dips create a feast that encourages conversation and connection. Seasonal eating is still practiced here in ways that have been lost in countries with year-round supermarket availability. Spring brings wild greens and herbs, summer focuses on tomatoes and fresh vegetables. Autumn features nuts and preserved foods, while winter emphasizes hearty stews and preserved meats. This seasonal approach keeps food costs low while ensuring maximum flavor and nutrition. Street food extends beyond gyros and souvlaki, kaluri, sesame-covered bread rings, are sold by vendors throughout cities for less than €1. Laukumades, honey-soaked donuts, satisfy sweet cravings without breaking the budget. Roasted nuts, fresh fruit, and grilled corn provide healthy snacking options that cost a fraction of processed alternatives. The social aspects of Greek food culture cannot be overstated. Meals are communal events where business deals are negotiated, relationships are formed, and community bonds are strengthened. The phrase "let us grab a coffee" can result in 3-hour conversations that solve world problems or at least neighborhood gossip. When it comes to Greek women, prepare yourself for a complete redefinition of Mediterranean beauty and charm. The women here embody a confidence that comes from growing up in a culture that values strength, intelligence, and family loyalty alongside physical attractiveness. This isn't the superficial beauty culture you might expect. It's deeper, more authentic, and infinitely more interesting. Greek women are raised in a society that celebrates femininity while expecting independence and strength. Many speak multiple languages, are highly educated, and maintain career ambitions alongside family commitments. The economic crisis forced many to become even more resourceful and determined, creating a generation of women who can handle challenges with grace while maintaining their essential Greek warmth. The physical beauty is undeniable. Olive skin that tans perfectly under the Mediterranean sun, dark expressive eyes, and thick hair that seems to defy humidity and wind. But what really sets Greek women apart is their approach to style and self-presentation. They understand that true elegance comes from confidence rather than expensive clothing. A Greek woman can make a simple sundress look sophisticated, and their mastery of minimalist chic puts fashion bloggers to shame. Dating culture here operates on different principles than the superficial swipe left mentality dominating Western apps. Family approval still matters. Relationships develop slowly, and commitment is taken seriously. This might frustrate tourists looking for holiday romances, but it creates deeper connections for those willing to invest time and genuine interest. Greek women are notoriously protective of their families and expect the same loyalty from partners. This isn't possessiveness. It's a cultural value that prioritizes relationships over individual gratification. They'll defend their loved ones fiercely, but also provide unwavering support through difficulties. The social scene revolves around group activities rather than isolated couple dates. Evenings out typically involve meeting friends at cafes, progressing to dinner with extended groups, and ending at bars or clubs where everyone knows everyone. This group dynamic provides natural screening for potential partners and creates more relaxed social pressure. Hospitality extends to romantic relationships in ways that might shock visitors. For more individualistic cultures, Greek women will feed you until you can barely move, introduce you to their entire extended family within weeks, and expect you to reciprocate with equal warmth and openness. Half-hearted efforts or emotional distance won't work here. The island lifestyle creates particular relationship dynamics during summer months. Tourist season brings temporary romances with visitors, but locals understand the seasonal nature of these connections. Authentic relationships typically develop during off-season months when the tourist crowds disappear and real personalities emerge. Professional Greek women navigate traditional expectations while pursuing modern careers with remarkable skill. Many work in tourism, education, healthcare, or family businesses, while maintaining the cultural values that emphasize family and community connections. This balance creates partners who are both independent and family-oriented. Communication styles here are direct and passionate in ways that might intimidate more reserved personalities. Greeks argue loudly about everything from politics to dinner plans, but this intensity reflects engagement rather than anger. Learning to appreciate this passionate communication style is essential for successful relationships with Greek women. The economic situation has created interesting relationship dynamics, where traditional gender roles are evolving. Many women have become primary income earners while partners struggle with unemployment, leading to more egalitarian household arrangements than previous generations. Beauty standards here emphasize natural enhancement rather than artificial transformation. Greek women typically prefer minimal makeup, natural hairstyles, and clothing that complements rather than conceals their natural features. This approach to beauty feels refreshing after experiencing cultures obsessed with surgical enhancement and artificial perfection. Romance here still involves traditional courtship elements that have disappeared from many Western cultures. Men are expected to pursue actively, show genuine interest in family and background, and demonstrate long-term intentions rather than casual interest. This traditional approach coexists with modern expectations for equality and mutual respect. The nightlife provides natural opportunities for meeting people, but success requires understanding Greek social dynamics. Approaching strangers directly rarely works. Introductions through mutual friends or participation in group activities are more effective. Learning basic Greek phrases shows respect for culture and creates immediate positive impressions. Greek Orthodox traditions influence relationship expectations even for non-religious Greeks. Marriage is still considered a serious commitment. Divorce carries social stigma, and family approval significantly impacts relationship success. Understanding these cultural factors is crucial for anyone considering serious relationships here. Greek celebrations are legendary, and once you experience authentic Greek festivals, every other party will seem like a pale imitation. These aren't tourist performances, they rate genuine community celebrations that have survived centuries and continue to bring people together in ways that modern entertainment can barely match. Greek Orthodox Easter represents the pinnacle of celebration here, completely overshadowing Christmas in importance and spectacle. The week leading up to Easter builds anticipation with special church services, traditional foods, and family preparations. Good Friday sees solemn processions through neighborhoods where decorated wooden structures representing Christ's tomb are carried by volunteers while crowds follow with candles. But Easter Sunday explodes with joy that has to be experienced to be believed. Families gather for massive feasts featuring lamb roasted on spits, red-dyed eggs, and traditional breads. The midnight church service on Saturday creates an atmosphere of anticipation that culminates when the priest announces Christos Anesti, Christ is risen, and fireworks light up the sky. People hug strangers, share food with neighbors, and the celebration continues for days. Local island festivals showcase the diversity of Greek celebration traditions. Each island has patron saints whose feast days become community-wide parties, combining religious observance with serious partying. Panegyri, traditional festivals, feature live music, dancing, and communal meals where entire villages contribute dishes and everyone eats for free. The plate-smashing tradition, while largely relegated to tourist restaurants in Athens, still appears at genuine celebrations. The practice symbolizes joy so overwhelming that breaking dishes becomes necessary to express it. Properly, modern celebrations often substitute flowers or napkins for actual plates, but the symbolic gesture remains powerful. Name days hold more significance than birthdays for many Greeks. Instead of celebrating the anniversary of birth, Greeks celebrate the feast day of their namesake saint. This means multiple people celebrate simultaneously, creating larger parties and strengthening community bonds. Traditional name day celebrations involve open houses where anyone can visit, eat, drink, and offer congratulations. Summer festivals transform sleepy villages into vibrant celebration venues. Music festivals, wine celebrations, and cultural events draw visitors from neighboring islands and create temporary communities of revelers. These events often continue until dawn, with musicians, dancers, and audiences flowing between official venues and spontaneous street performances. Traditional Greek dancing remains central to most celebrations, and locals expect everyone to participate regardless of skill level. The famous Zorba dance is just one of hundreds of regional variations, each with specific steps, meanings, and occasions. Learning basic steps creates instant social connections and demonstrates respect for culture. Wedding celebrations here span multiple days and involve entire communities. Traditional weddings include elaborate rituals, massive guest lists, and celebrations that can cost families significant portions of their annual income. The investment reflects the cultural importance placed on marriage and family formation. Religious festivals blend ancient traditions with modern celebration styles. Processions honoring patron saints feature brass bands, traditional costumes, and religious icons carried through streets. While modern sound systems blast folk music and vendors sell everything from souvlaki to religious souvenirs. Carnival season, particularly on islands like Corfu and Patras, creates month-long celebration periods featuring parades, costume competitions, and street parties. These celebrations rival Brazilian carnival in scale and enthusiasm while maintaining distinctly Greek character through traditional music and local customs. Wine festivals celebrate Greece's ancient viticultural heritage with tastings, traditional music, and dancing that continues late into the night. Many festivals offer unlimited wine tasting for minimal entrance fees, creating excellent value entertainment while supporting local producers. The spontaneous nature of Greek celebrations often surpasses planned events. Impromptu gatherings in tavernas, beach parties organized through word of mouth, and neighborhood celebrations for visiting relatives create some of the most memorable experiences. These unplanned events capture the authentic Greek spirit of hospitality and joy. Cultural festivals throughout summer months bring international artists to ancient venues like amphitheaters and archaeological sites. Watching modern performances in venues where ancient Greeks held similar events creates powerful connections between past and present cultures. Now let's examine the numbers that make the $600 monthly lifestyle possible, because this isn't fantasy. It's completely achievable with proper planning and realistic expectations. The key lies in understanding where and how Greeks themselves live affordably, rather than trying to replicate tourist experiences on a budget. Housing represents the largest expense, but options vary dramatically by location and season. In Athens, a studio apartment in neighborhoods like Exarchia or Kalkaki ranges from 200 to 350 euros monthly. These aren't luxury accommodations, but they're clean, safe, and well connected to public transportation. Sharing apartments reduces costs further, with private rooms available for 150 to 250 euros monthly in decent neighborhoods. Island living during off-season provides incredible value that summer tourists never experience. Traditional houses on smaller islands like Naxos, Paros, or Siphinos rent for 200 to 400 euros monthly from October through April. These aren't tourist accommodations, but actual homes where locals live, featuring authentic architecture, established neighborhoods, and access to community life that hotels can never provide. Utilities in Greece cost significantly less than most Western countries. Electricity averages 40 to 60 euros monthly for modest accommodations, Water rarely exceeds 20 euros. And internet service costs 20 to 30 euros for reliable broadband. Mobile phone plans with adequate data run 15 to 25 euros monthly, making communication costs negligible. Food expenses can be remarkably low for those willing to shop and eat like locals. Greek supermarkets offer fresh produce, dairy products, and basic staples at prices that make organic Western alternatives look ridiculous. A weekly grocery budget of 40 to 50 euros easily covers fresh vegetables, fruits, cheese, bread, and basic proteins for one person eating primarily at home. Dining out remains affordable when avoiding tourist areas. Neighborhood tavernas serve complete meals with wine for 8 to 12 euros, while street food like gyros and souvlaki costs to 2 euros per serving. Coffee culture allows spending entire afternoons in cafes for the price of a single drink, making social entertainment incredibly economical. Transportation costs vary by location, but remain reasonable throughout the country. Athens public transportation passes cost 30 euros monthly and provide unlimited access to buses, metro, and trams covering the entire metropolitan area. Island transportation relies primarily on walking, bicycles, or occasional bus rides that rarely exceed a few euros. Healthcare in Greece offers excellent value through both public and private systems. EU citizens receive free emergency care, while private health insurance costs 40 to 80 euros monthly and provides access to excellent medical facilities. Prescription medications cost fractions of American prices, and dental care remains affordable even for complex procedures. Entertainment and cultural activities often cost nothing or very little. Beaches are free. Hiking trails abound. Archaeological sites charge minimal entrance fees for residents, and many cultural events are subsidized or free. Bars and clubs on islands during off-season often have no cover charges, making nightlife entertainment primarily limited to drink costs. Seasonal employment opportunities can supplement income significantly. Tourism season creates temporary jobs in restaurants, hotels, and tour operations that pay 600 to 800 euros monthly plus tips. English teaching, both formal and informal, provides steady income streams for qualified individuals. Digital nomads find excellent internet connectivity and affordable workspace options throughout the country. The European Union employment benefits allow legal work for EU citizens, while non-EU residents can obtain work permits for specific industries. Seasonal agricultural work, particularly olive harvesting, provides temporary income while offering authentic cultural experiences. Budget breakdowns for different lifestyle choices show remarkable flexibility. Minimalist living on smaller islands can cost as little as 400 to 500 euros monthly, while more social urban lifestyles in Athens might require 700 to 800 euros. The $600 target represents a comfortable middle ground, allowing decent housing, regular dining out, and active social participation. Banking and financial services accommodate international residents with English-speaking staff and online banking options. Currency exchange rates favor Americans and Canadians during periods of dollar strength, effectively increasing purchasing power beyond the nominal budget amounts. Seasonal cost variations require planning and adaptation. Summer months see increased prices for housing and tourist-related services, but off-season discounts can reduce living costs by 30 to 40% in many areas. Smart budgeting involves saving during cheap months to cover higher summer expenses. Hidden costs include occasional tourist taxes, seasonal transportation price increases, and higher utility costs during extreme weather months. However, these expenses rarely exceed 10 to 15% of base budgets and can be managed through careful planning. Getting around Greece efficiently and affordably requires understanding transportation options that most tourists never discover. The country's infrastructure reflects both ancient trade routes and modern European standards, creating unique opportunities for budget-conscious residents. Athens' public transportation ranks among Europe's most efficient and affordable systems. The metro connects downtown areas to the airport, port, and suburban neighborhoods while doubling as an archaeological museum. Due to ancient artifacts displayed in stations, single tickets cost 20 euros, but monthly passes at €30 provide unlimited access to buses, metro, trams, and suburban rail lines. The bus system reaches virtually every neighborhood in Athens and extends to surrounding towns. And beaches. Learning bus routes opens access to authentic neighborhoods, local markets, and recreational areas that remain invisible to tourists relying on taxis. Bus drivers generally speak basic English and show patience with foreigners struggling with Greek addresses. Intercity transportation relies heavily on KTEL buses that connect every major town. In many villages throughout mainland Greece, these buses offer comfortable seating, air conditioning, and remarkably affordable fares. Athens to Thessaloniki costs around €35 and takes 5 hours, while shorter routes between regional centers rarely exceed 15 to 20 euros. Ferry transportation between islands and mainland ports creates the backbone of Greek island life. Ferry schedules vary seasonally, with frequent service during summer months and reduced schedules during winter. Budget ferry travel involves deck seating rather than cabins, but most journeys occur during daylight hours with spectacular scenery making outdoor seating preferable anyway. High-speed ferries reduce travel times significantly but cost more than traditional vessels. The price difference often justifies slower travel, particularly for residents rather than tourists with limited vacation time. Overnight ferries too. Distant islands like Crete offer affordable cabin accommodations that eliminate hotel costs while providing transportation. Island transportation typically relies on local buses, rental scooters, or walking. Bus service on larger islands like Crete and Rhodes connects major towns and beaches with regular schedules. While smaller islands might have limited service requiring advanced planning, many island residents rely on scooters for daily transportation, creating a distinctive Mediterranean lifestyle. Rental cars provide flexibility for exploring remote areas and mountain villages, but costs include fuel, insurance, and parking fees that constrain budgets. Greek driving requires confidence and awareness of local customs that prioritize assertiveness over traffic laws. Mountain roads offer stunning scenery but demand careful attention to changing weather conditions. Hitchhiking remains common and generally safe throughout Greece, particularly on islands where locals regularly offer rides to pedestrians. This traditional hospitality extends to transportation, creating opportunities for authentic cultural exchange while saving money. Bicycle transportation works well in flat coastal areas and some islands, but Greece's mountainous terrain limits cycling in many regions. Cities like Athens have introduced bike-sharing programs, though traffic congestion and aggressive driving styles require careful route planning for safety. Taxi costs vary significantly between locations and seasons. Athens taxis use meters and provide reasonable rates for short distances, while island taxis often charge fixed rates that can seem expensive but include personalized service and local knowledge. Sharing taxi rides between multiple passengers reduces individual costs substantially. Walking remains the primary transportation method for daily activities in most Greek communities. Cities and towns maintain pedestrian-friendly centers where walking provides faster access than driving, while islands often concentrate amenities within walking distance of residential areas. Seasonal transportation variations affect costs and availability significantly. Summer ferry schedules provide multiple daily options between popular islands, while winter service might offer only weekly connections. Planning around seasonal schedules prevents transportation difficulties and reduces costs through advanced booking discounts. Airport transportation from Athens International requires advanced planning. To avoid expensive taxi rides, metro service connects directly to downtown Athens for €10. While bus connections serve various neighborhoods for much less, regional airports rely primarily on bus or taxi service, with costs varying by distance and local competition. Port transportation in Piraeus, Greece's largest port, connects ferry services to Athens metro and bus systems. Learning these connections eliminates expensive taxi rides, while providing authentic glimpses of working Greek port culture that tourists rarely experience. Greece offers attractions that justify its reputation as the cradle of Western civilization. But the real magic lies in experiences that guidebooks can't capture and Instagram can't convey. This isn't just about checking famous sites off lists, it is about understanding how ancient history continues to influence modern life in ways that remain invisible to casual visitors. The Acropolis in Athens represents more than ancient ruins. It's a living symbol of democracy, philosophy, and artistic achievement that continues to inspire political and cultural movements worldwide. Standing where Pericles delivered speeches and Socrates taught students creates connections to intellectual traditions that shape modern civilization. But visiting during early morning or late afternoon avoids crowds while providing better lighting and temperatures. Meteor's monasteries perched impossibly on towering rock formations create spiritual experiences that transcend religious boundaries. These UNESCO World Heritage Sites demonstrate human determination to reach toward the divine through architecture that seems to defy physics. The hiking trails between monasteries offer solitude and perspectives impossible from tour buses. Delphi, once considered the center of the ancient world, maintains an atmosphere of mystery and power that affects even skeptical visitors. The archaeological site combines dramatic mountain scenery with ruins where priestesses delivered prophecies that influence kings and emperors. The museum houses artifacts that bring ancient religious practices to vivid life. Ancient theaters throughout Greece still host performances, creating opportunities to experience drama where it was invented. The acoustics in places like Epidaurus remain so perfect that whispered words on stage can be heard clearly in the highest seats. Summer festivals bring both classical and modern productions to these venues, connecting contemporary audiences with ancient traditions. Crete-esque Minoan palaces at Knossos reveal sophisticated Bronze Age civilization that predates classical Greece by over a millennium. The reconstructed frescoes and architectural features show advanced urban planning, artistic achievement, and cultural complexity that challenges assumptions about ancient societies. Exploring lesser-known Minoan sites like Phaistos provides similar insights without tourist crowds. Santorini's volcanic landscape creates unique geological formations. Beyond the famous blue-domed churches and sunset views, the volcanic soil produces distinctive wines, while hot springs and colored beaches demonstrate ongoing geological activity. Hiking from Phyra to Oya reveals traditional architecture and spectacular views while avoiding overpriced tourists. Transportation. Rhodes combines medieval history with ancient ruins and beach resort amenities. The medieval Old Town represents one of Europe's best preserved walled cities. While ancient ruins scatter throughout the island, the Palace of the Grand Master and Street of the Knights transport visitors to Crusader-era Mediterranean culture. Mountain regions like the Peloponnese offer hiking trails, traditional villages, and archaeological sites without tourist development. Places like Monte Peninsula feature tower houses built for defense during Ottoman occupation, while ancient sites like Mistras represent Byzantine civilization at its peak. Greek islands each maintain distinct personalities shaped by geography, history, and local traditions. Mykonos parties harder than most Caribbean destinations while maintaining authentic Greek character. Paros offers traditional island life with excellent beaches and reasonable prices. Naxos provides mountain hiking, ancient ruins, and agricultural landscapes rarely seen on smaller islands. Beach experiences range from organized resort areas to completely undeveloped coastal wilderness. Many of the best beaches require hiking or boat access, rewarding effort with pristine sand and crystal clear water without crowds or commercial development. Nudist beaches exist throughout the islands for those preferring minimal clothing. Restrictions. Archaeological museums throughout Greece house artifacts that textbooks only describe. The National Archaeological Museum in Athens contains treasures that would be centerpiece attractions. In most countries' major museums, regional museums often provide more intimate experiences with local discoveries and specialized collections. Byzantine churches and monasteries showcase artistic traditions that bridge ancient and modern cultures. Mount Athos, while restricted to male visitors, represents Orthodox monasticism at its most traditional. Female visitors can experience similar spiritual traditions at convents throughout Greece that welcome respectful tourists. Natural wonders include caves, gorges, and geological formations that rival more famous destinations. The Samaria Gorge in Crete offers challenging hiking through protected wilderness, while smaller gorges provide similar experiences without extensive planning. Underground caves throughout Greece feature stalactite formations and underground rivers. Traditional villages maintain lifestyles that have changed little over centuries. Places like Areopoli and Mani Peninsula or mountain villages in northern Greece offer authentic glimpses of rural Greek life where shepherding, farming, and traditional crafts continue as they have for generations. Safety in Greece ranks among the highest in Europe, making it an ideal destination for solo travelers, families, and anyone seeking secure living conditions. The statistics speak for themselves. Greece consistently ranks in the top 20 safest countries globally, with crime rates significantly lower than most Western nations. Violent crime remains extremely rare throughout the country, with most incidents involving tourists occurring due to excessive alcohol consumption, rather than targeted criminal activity. Petty theft exists in tourist areas, but using common sense precautions eliminates most risks. Leaving bags unattended at beach cafes or displaying expensive electronics carelessly creates opportunities that careful travelers easily avoid. Women traveling alone consistently report feeling safe throughout Greece, including late-night walking in major cities. The cultural emphasis on hospitality and family protection extends to visitors, with locals often going out of their way to assist solo female travelers. Island communities are particularly protective, where everyone knows everyone and strangers receive attention that deters potential problems. Police presence remains visible but non-intrusive throughout Greece. Tourist police specifically trained to assist visitors provide English language help with directions, problems, and emergency situations. Regular police generally show patience with foreigners and often speak basic English, particularly in tourist areas. Healthcare standards in Greece meet or exceed most European countries, with modern hospitals, well-trained physicians, and medical facilities equipped with current technology. Emergency care is available throughout the country, with helicopter rescue services reaching remote islands when necessary. Private health care costs significantly less than American alternatives, while providing comparable service quality. Prescription medications available in Greek pharmacies cost fractions of American prices for identical products. Pharmacists receive extensive training and can provide medical advice for minor ailments, reducing the need for expensive doctor visits for simple problems. Many medications requiring prescriptions elsewhere are available over the counter in Greece. Medical tourism has become increasingly popular, with Greeks and visitors seeking dental care, cosmetic procedures, and specialized treatments at prices 50 to 70% lower than comparable Western services. Quality remains high due to EU medical standards and physician training requirements. Emergency services response times vary by location, with urban areas receiving rapid assistance while remote islands might experience delays. During severe weather, however, the low crime rates and general safety mean most visitors never require emergency services beyond basic medical needs. Natural hazards include strong winds on islands, occasional earthquakes, and summer heat that can cause dehydration or heat-related illness. Basic precautions like staying hydrated, using sun protection, and avoiding swimming during rough weather prevent most weather-related problems. Traffic represents the primary safety concern for visitors unfamiliar with Greek driving customs. Motorcycles and cars often ignore traffic laws that other countries enforce strictly, requiring pedestrian awareness and defensive driving habits. Learning local traffic patterns and crossing streets carefully prevents most transportation-related incidents. Beach safety requires attention to flags indicating swimming conditions, as some beaches lack lifeguard services. Strong currents and sudden weather changes can create dangerous conditions, but local knowledge and basic water safety eliminate most risks. Food safety standards meet EU requirements, with restaurants and markets maintaining hygiene standards that prevent foodborne illness. Tap water is safe throughout most of Greece, though bottled water is widely available and inexpensive for those preferring familiar options. University education in Greece attracts international students seeking quality education at affordable costs. Several universities offer programs in English, while Greek language courses provide pathways to broader educational opportunities. Tuition costs for EU students remain minimal, while non-EU students pay significantly less than comparable American or British institutions. Research opportunities exist in archaeology, marine biology, renewable energy, and other fields where Greece's geography and history provide unique advantages. International collaboration programs connect Greek institutions with universities worldwide, creating exchange opportunities for both students and faculty. Understanding visa requirements and legal procedures ensures smooth transitions, from tourist to resident status for those choosing extended stays in Greece. The bureaucracy can be frustrating, but persistence and proper documentation resolve most administrative challenges. For European Union citizens, living and working in Greece requires only basic registration procedures. The freedom of movement within EU countries eliminates visa complications, while providing access to healthcare, education, and employment opportunities equivalent to Greek citizens. Non-EU visitors can stay up to 90 days within any 180-day period without visas, providing ample time to experience Greek life before committing to longer-term arrangements. Tourist visas can be extended under specific circumstances, though permanent residency requires different procedures and documentation. Student visas for university enrollment provide pathways to extended residence. While pursuing education, many international students use educational programs as stepping stones to permanent residence, particularly in fields where Greece faces skill shortages like technology, engineering, and healthcare. Work permits for non-EU citizens require employer sponsorship and government approval, but seasonal employment in tourism creates opportunities for temporary work authorization. Teaching English, both formally and informally, provides income streams for qualified individuals while offering flexibility for lifestyle. Experimentation. Digital nomad visas, recently introduced by Greece, accommodate remote workers seeking Mediterranean lifestyle while maintaining employment elsewhere. These programs recognize the growing trend of location-independent work, while providing legal frameworks for extended residence. Investment visas offer residency opportunities for individuals capable of significant financial commitments to Greek businesses or real estate. The Golden Visa program provides 5-year residence permits for property investments exceeding €150,000, creating pathways to permanent residence and eventual citizenship. Banking requirements for residents include opening Greek bank accounts, which requires proof of address and income verification. International transfers, while possible, often incur fees that local banking eliminates. Understanding Greek banking practices prevents common expatriate financial difficulties. Language learning accelerates integration and provides access to employment opportunities. Unavailable to English-only speakers, Greek language schools offer courses specifically designed for expatriates, while informal language exchange programs provide practice opportunities with native speakers eager to improve their English. Tax obligations vary significantly based on residency status, income sources, and nationality. Greece has tax agreements with many countries preventing double taxation, but professional advice ensures compliance with both Greek and home country requirements. The tax advantages for new residents can be substantial for those qualifying for special programs. Legal representation helps navigate property purchases, business establishment, and residency applications. Greek lawyers specializing in expatriate services understand common challenges and provide services in multiple languages. Legal costs remain reasonable compared to most Western countries while ensuring proper documentation and compliance. Healthcare registration provides access to both public and private medical systems. EU citizens receive reciprocal healthcare benefits, while others can purchase private insurance or pay direct costs that remain affordable by international standards. Understanding the healthcare system prevents emergency situations from becoming financial disasters. Social integration accelerates through community involvement, language learning, and participation in local traditions. Greek communities welcome genuine interest in culture and traditions. But successful integration requires effort to understand and respect local customs and social expectations. So here we are at the end of our journey through modern Greece. And if you're not already booking a flight, you're probably questioning every life choice that led you to wherever you're living now. This isn't just another travel destination. It is a complete lifestyle reset that challenges everything you've been told about what life should cost and how happiness should be measured. The $600 monthly budget isn't just possible. It is comfortable when you understand how Greeks actually live, rather than trying to replicate overpriced tourist experiences. You're talking about fresh Mediterranean food that makes restaurant chains taste like cardboard, social connections that put social media to shame, and a pace of life that prioritizes relationships and experiences over accumulating stuff you don't need. Greek women embody a combination of beauty, intelligence, and cultural depth that reflects thousands of years of civilization surviving empires, invasions, and economic challenges. This isn't superficial attraction. It's attraction to strength, authenticity, and values that have endured because they work. The dating culture here rewards genuine interest in people and culture over pickup lines and shallow conversation. The cultural experiences available here, from spontaneous village festivals to philosophical discussions over endless coffee, provide richness that expensive entertainment elsewhere can't match. You're not just visiting ancient ruins. You're living among people whose daily customs connect directly to traditions that shaped Western civilization. Food culture here transforms eating from fuel consumption to social ritual. Every meal becomes an opportunity for connection. Every cafe visit can stretch into hours of conversation. And street food costs less than vending machine snacks while providing actual nutrition and flavor that makes processed alternatives seem criminal. The practical aspects, healthcare, safety, transportation, and bureaucracy work better than most people expect from a country that dominated negative headlines during the economic crisis. The infrastructure supports comfortable living, while costs remain a fraction of comparable Western destinations. But perhaps most importantly, Greece offers something that money can't buy in expensive cities: time to think, time to connect with people, time to appreciate simple pleasures like sunset over the Aegean or impromptu conversations with neighbors. This isn't about being lazy or dropping out of productive society. It is about redefining productivity to include happiness, relationships, and personal fulfillment. The weather alone justifies the lifestyle change. Over 300 days of sunshine annually, temperatures that rarely require heavy clothing, and natural beauty that eliminates the need for expensive entertainment. Your backyard includes beaches, mountains, ancient ruins, and islands that people spend thousands to visit for brief vacations. The economic advantages extend beyond low living costs to include opportunities for remote work, seasonal employment, and business development in a growing economy that's attracting international investment and tourism. This isn't about surviving on a tight budget. It is about living well. For what other places charge just for housing? Community integration happens naturally here in ways that force social activities elsewhere can't replicate. Neighborhood relationships develop organically through daily routines, shared meals, and cultural celebrations that welcome participation rather than demanding performance or payment. Language barriers dissolve quickly in a culture that values communication over perfect grammar. Greeks appreciate efforts to learn their language while showing patience with mistakes, creating supportive environments for linguistic development that enhance both practical living and cultural understanding. The visa and residency options accommodate various situations from short-term experimentation to permanent relocation, whether you're testing the lifestyle for a few months or committing to long-term residence. Legal pathways exist that don't require massive financial investments or bureaucratic nightmares. Environmental consciousness comes naturally when living closer to nature and traditional practices that emphasize sustainability over consumption. The Mediterranean lifestyle inherently reduces carbon footprints while improving quality of life. Through walking, seasonal eating, and community-based entertainment, educational opportunities abound for those seeking personal development through formal study, cultural immersion, or skill development. learning traditional crafts, improving language abilities, or studying topics like archaeology in their natural settings. Provides growth opportunities unavailable in classroom-only environments. So what are you waiting for? Every day you spend in overpriced Western cities working jobs you tolerate to afford lifestyles that leave you exhausted is another day you could be sipping frap while watching fishing boats. Return with fresh catches you'll eat for dinner. Comment 3 if you're ready to trade your expensive rent for an authentic Mediterranean lifestyle. Subscribe if you want more content about affordable international living that doesn't require trust funds or early retirement savings. Share this with someone who needs to know that alternatives exist to the expensive, stressful lifestyle they think is normal. Greece isn't just waiting for tourists, it's waiting for people ready to live differently, authentically, and affordably in one of the most beautiful places on Earth. The question isn't whether you can afford to move here, it asks whether you can afford not to.